It's Toto for the Pewter Channel, 11 o'clock news, and it's late by August 20th, 2016. Good evening, everybody. I am Peter Wiggins, and 11 o'clock news and on top study 11th hour on this late Monday night is... after two earlier Sexton and Sexton scandals, Mr. Anthony Reiner did not finish on public life. This time his wife, Mrs. Abbott, and Hillary Clinton's upgrade is separating from him. Hackers targeted voter registration systems in Illinois and Arizona, and the FBI alerted Arizona officials in June that the Russians would be behind the assault on the election system in that state. It's been a hard couple of weeks for Obamacare, the law's online marketplace where people were supposed to be able to easily shop for health insurance has been suffering from high-profile defections and double-digit premium increases. The comic actor was best in producers Blaze Settles and Young Frankenstein and Team with Rich Pride in the four films, and Gene Wilder, the star of Willy Wonka, has passed away at the age of 83. And counter Turkey. The U.S. on Monday urged Turkish troops and Kurdish forces in the North Syria to halt their fight and send in hindrance efforts to defeat the Islamic State group. ISIS is gaining foothold in Yemen. Dilma Rousseff plays against the impeachment process that she likely to political death sentences bill and sway senators, with lawmakers on both sides of the aisle expecting a Brazilian resident permit after this week. New Delhi, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry called Monday for the Bangladesh to step up efforts to fight extremist violence comes to terms with links between the local and international militants and protecting against and promote and protect human rights. Tuesday, Mississippi remembered for helping the needy. Donald Trump at Republican presidential debate in March of Detroit as Mr. Trump spent hours with the debate team in the past two Sundays, but he said he believed they can prep too much of those things. Palo Alto, at the start of every court session, the judge touched up to the National Outcry with a purposely light sentence of the Buck Turner sexual assault case and then in the names of attorneys who have contributed to this campaign to keep the job. A 40-year-old Halston man who allegedly stockpiled trouble weapons of expressed interest in killing President Barack Obama was arrested by FBI agents early Saturday morning. For years, American businesses have been clamoring for the government to grow out to set up regulations with drone technology so that the companies can legally start using them for everything from agriculture to filmmaking to delivering pizza and packages. Apple said it will back Texas and Irish government. The decision by United Airlines, however, a new president away from American Airlines firms up the roster of executives will contend with the fire that clients pushing in the industry to the worst firms in the 5 years. Oreo cookie maker Mondelez International ended its pursuit of Hershey Company after the famed chocolatier rebuffed its latest acquisition offer, putting an end to the months-long takeover campaign that would have created the world. It's the largest food merger of snack foods. Yes. Alright, take a look at the stocks now. Up 107.59 points at 18,502.99. SP 5 up 11.34 points at 2,180.38. And Nasdaq up 13.41 points at 5,232.33. A 3.2 million euro mystery. Did Lucy fall from a tree? Thomas Billy can understand where it's saying to them. Ecuador News said that seems to confirm that they are switched to a mini dog lover. Around 1915, an atomic bomb fell in empty deserts, crowded cities, and atolls that highway carved concrete paths across the planet. The population exploded as consumption skyrocketed, and the average global temperature began as dangerous. Steady team investigating mysterious signals from SAR 94 light years away. Scientists have discovered 3 existing drugs used for cancer, hepatitis C, and parasitic infections that say are promising appeared against the Zika virus. There's enough reasonably hard to get rid of Zika. Mosquitoes can pass the virus to their offsprings in their eggs. It's not a surprising finding. For nearly 70 years, scientists have known of the existence of an obscure mosquito-borne virus that has gradually spread from its birthplace in Africa to the Indian subcontinent and East Asia, and having some far-flung islands in the Pacific. High school athletes who stopped playing immediately after the experience are concussion take about a as long recovery hers for those who continue to play, according to the new study. Washington, Donald Trump's campaign is disavowing the support from a prominent white nationalist David Duke, who was once again causing problems to the Republican nominee by claiming that Trump is a kindred spirit. A top pastor of Donald Trump's campaign, who spoke to the Republican convention, treated images of Hillary Clinton and dreadlocks and blackface on Monday because she's planning to get African American voters. GOP Senators Marco Rubio and John McCain are expected to survive their primaries on Tuesday as they face challenges who have tried to ride the Donald Trump wave to the major electoral upsets. The Democratic Party's next National Senate campaign was cancelled more than a week of TV at that was run next month to keep on state of power. Former Governor Ted Strickland was struggling to gain traction. Alright, take a look at some local news. Edinburgh, imagine you have high school cafeteria surrounded by hundreds of customers and you choke on a bite at lunch. Frankly, you struggle to draw a breath. A crowd together, but everyone seems bewildered, frozen in place. Luckily, one person leaps forward, quickly performs a Hamlet removal, and probably saves your life. Or maybe you suffer a heart attack in a shopping mall and criminal uniform. Would anyone be there to administer CPR? At that critical moment, as American Association reports that 70% of Americans feel helpless after a cardiac emergency because they don't know what to do. As Edinburgh firefighter paramedic Cray Bless on a mission to teach high school students the essentials of emergency response. Not music brings people together, says Wheat College professor. Delvin K says Wheat College professor hoping to grow a community orchestra. Edinburgh District Court has lost its heart and soul as Edinburgh District Court for Citizens Magistrate retires almost half century of service. 3 Edinburgh elementary schools have reached their capacity for kindergarten students and can't accept any more children. North Edinburgh, an effort to reduce flood in church rates for residents will go before time meeting again after failing to win funding earlier this year. Edinburgh kids will head back to school Thursday, but some of them will have to take extra care at a crossing in the street in Edinburgh. Man should fit an accused T-shirt Woodler was arraigned Monday for allegedly hitting 2 vehicles with his van while fleeing in 40s at the Xfinity Center in Mansfield. Boston, Massachusetts Governor Charles Baker says energy, trade, economic issues, and opioid addiction among the topics discussed at the 40th conference of New England governors and Eastern Canadian primaries. Baker, Republican, co-chaired the two-day conference at the State House of Boston Premier. Ray McLaughlin of Prince Edward Island was a co-chairman of governors and premiers participated in 2 sessions on Monday. The Republican report that energy was a major issue at the conference, and Baker recently signed a law that will require Massachusetts to solicit long-term contracts to purchase offshore wind and hydropower. Most of the hydropower is expected to come from Canada. Checkmate, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts man charged with fatally shooting a 15-year-old boy as he father was trying to break into a home and has been indicted on a manslaughter charge. Peter Challenge time is now 11:07 p.m. on this late Monday night, and it is time now for New England Nets Low Sprint at 3 hours ago in Bourbon, Vermont at 2 on fire, 562 Stark Road. Via Bourbon Fire Department was on the scene about Bill and Fire and MA was the scene and cover. And 1 hour ago in Pittsburgh, Massachusetts, working on a 3-alarm fire at Paper Mill in Elmsare Place. And now it's a 4-alarm fire at that place in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. Peter Chell News Time is now 11:07 on this late Monday night, and it's time now for a traffic and transit report. Let's study off on the MBTA, where on the subway system it is looking good, and on the commuter rail it is looking good, and on the ferries they are looking good. Alright, take a look at some highways and byways of the New England region on this late Monday night. Starting off down in Connecticut. Oh, some New York highways. 95 on the northbound side. A little slow just around New Rochelle. West Side Parkway on the northbound side back around Route 95 in the Bronx. 95 southbound back to the Bronx to the George Washington Bridge. Bill Parkway on the westbound side back to the Brooklyn stretch. 95 on the northbound side it is backed up on the Norwalk stretch and Hillsborough again on the southbound side of 95 for the Bridgeport Fairfield stretches. 95 on the northbound side back to the Bridgeport stretch. 95 on the northbound side is back to the West Haven and New Haven stretches stop and go. 95 on the southbound side it is backed up at 395 to the Route 9 in Old Saybrook. And in western Massachusetts, Mass Bank interchange with 91, 291 in Springfield and 293, 95 Auburn it's out. Little so Mass Bank westbound side back to the Millbury stretch between 146 and 495. 190 in the northbound side is backed up around Worcester stretch, but Route 20 in the eastbound side is backed up around after Route 495 out in Littleton. Mass Bank interchange with the Logan Airport, it's a little slow, but eastern Massachusetts always out. Looking good. 495 to the southbound side, back to after Route 125 in April. 93 to the northbound side is back to London in New Hampshire. Spalding Turnpike and southbound side is back to on the Rochester stretch. And Falmouthburg and the South Portland connector on the main turnpike in Southport, Maine is a little slow. 295 stop and go from Brunswick and also stop and go before the Falmouthburg up in Portland. And 87, 89, 91 border crossings up in Vermont are looking good. Auto Route 15 and southbound side back to before the New York State border in southern Quebec. Peter Channel News time is now 11:09 p.m. and New York State routes westbound side it is back to from Colony down to and New York State for eastbound side is back to after 890 and Schenectady. And now, look at the weather at 11:10, and here's our latest on what is going on in the traffics. And this is Gaston. Now, 105 mile an hour wind with a 31.6 to the north, 54.6 to the west, moment northeast at 6 miles an hour. And Gaston maintains strength and turns northeast with it. There are no coast watch warnings affected. 11 p.m. Atlanta Standard Time. Hurricane Gaston is located near latitude 31.6 to the north, longitude 54.6 to the west, and Gaston is moving toward the northeast near 6 miles an hour. The hurricane is expected to move toward the northeast or east-northeast at a increasing forward speed during the next couple of days. Max name was out near 105 miles an hour gust. Low changes strength forecast during the next 48 hours. Hurricane force winds that was up to 35 miles an hour from the center. Tropical storm force winds that was up to 140 miles an hour. It's been minutes up pressure 968 millibars, 29.59 inches. Alright. Okay, now latest on tropical pressure number 8. 33.8 to the north, 74.1 to the west. Maximum sustained winds 35 miles an hour, movement northwest at 5 miles an hour. And the latest public advisory, depression moving slowly northwestward towards the coast of North Carolina, and a tropical warning is in effect for the coast of North Carolina from Cape Lookout to Oregon Inland, Pamlico Sound, and tropical storm warning means that tropical storm conditions are expected somewhere within the warning area in the case within 24 hours. Interest elsewhere along the Outer Banks of North Carolina should monitor the progress of the depression. Additional warnings may be recorded later tonight or Tuesday morning. And for some information, please specify products issued by your local and national weather service forecast office and monitor them at 11 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The center of tropical depression 8 was located in the latitude 33.8 to the north, latitude 84.1 in the west. Depression moving toward the northwest near 5 miles an hour. This geo motion with a slow forward speed is expected tonight, with a gradual turn toward the north forecast on Tuesday. On the forecast track, the center of depression will be near the Outer Banks of North Carolina late Tuesday, and maximum strength winds are near 35 miles an hour with our gust. So strength is so forecast in the next 4 hours, and depression is expected to become a tropical storm on Tuesday. The estimated minimum central pressure is 10-11 millibars, 20.86 inches, and tropical storm conditions are expected to wind in the warning area, picking up Tuesday afternoon rainfall. The depression is expected to produce total rainfall accumulation 1 to 3 inches with a maximum amounts of 5 inches over the far eastern North Carolina, including the Outer Banks. Alright, tropical depression number 9. 23.9 to the north, 85.5 to the west. Maps sustained winds 35 miles per movement west at 7 miles an hour. Depression becoming a little better organized over the southeast of the Gulf of Mexico. There is no coast watch to the waters effect. At 10 p.m. Central Daylight Time, the center of tropical depression number 9 was located near latitude 223.9 to the north, longitude 85.5 to the west. The depression is moving toward the west near 7 miles, and a turn toward the west-northwest is expected later tonight. A turn toward the northwest and the northwest is expected Tuesday and Tuesday, followed by a turn toward the northeast and Wednesday. On the forecast track, the center of depression will continue to move slowly away from western Cuba and move in the eastern Gulf of Mexico over the next 4 hours. Max sustained winds out near 35 miles an hour. Gusts some strength is forecast during the next 4 hours, and the depression is expected to become a tropical storm on Tuesday. The estimated minimum central pressure is 1,003 millibars, 29.62 inches, based on recent data from NYA Hurricane Aircraft. Then rainfall depression is expected to produce additional rain accumulations of 3 to 6 inches over the western Cuba for Wednesday. Estimated maps total amounts are 12 inches are possible over the western Cuba. There's rain that cause life, threatening flash floods and mudslides. And total rain accumulation of 3 to 7 inches possible over the much on the Florida Peninsula for Thursday. Estimated maximum amounts of 10 inches are possible on the west coast of Florida from Naples and Cincinnati. This rainfall may cause some flash flooding. Okay, and the latest on disturbance to a weak trough low pressure located just offshore on the south central coast of Texas, producing the Desert showers and activity with the northwestern Gulf of Mexico and adjacent coastal areas and parts of the land. Not only mostly favorable upper level winds are expected to be in the midst of development, well, the system drifts southwestward during the next day so far. Reduction range and rainfall associated with this system. Please see products in the local National Weather Service office. 4-inch chance for 4 hours, low 0%, and 4-inch chance for 5 days, low near 0%. Alright, 7-day forecast. Boy, it turned out to be a marvelous Monday. It was a little hot, but it was a marvelous Monday in the weather department. Tomorrow should be more than the same, as it's going to be a terrific Tuesday in tapping on the weather department here in the New England region, including right here in Norton, Massachusetts. Alright, 7-day forecast goes like this. For tonight, clear sky, about 57 degrees. North about 5 miles come after midnight. For tonight, for Tuesday, south sky about 84 degrees. Coming southwest around 6 miles in the afternoon. For Tuesday, forecast about 6 degrees. And south we're about 5 miles coming in the evening for Wednesday. Patrick Fall for 90 miles. Putness Scott at 86 degrees. Southwest about 5 to 9 miles over. What's that? Chester Shores. Thunderstorms. Most Scott about 55 degrees. And south. What about 5 to 8 miles coming in midnight? Chesapeake to 30%. Thursday. Chester Shores and thunderstorms. Putness Scott about 80 degrees. Chesapeake to 30%. Thursday. Podcast about 60 degrees. For Friday. Most of the night. Podcast about 70 about 55 degrees. Saturday. Most good Scott about 67 about 54 degrees. Sunday, most good Scott at 80 about 58 degrees. And every day, most of us have at 82 degrees. Currently, and not near it's a starry night, and it's fair skies, and the temperature is 66 degrees with a humidity of 74%. And that is going to be it for the Peter Channel 11 o'clock news, and it's late Monday night, 20th August 2016. Pretty sure we'll be good night with a good positive. I'll see you tomorrow morning with a more report. Good night.